Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360. I am Annetta Felix. The Nigerian Army announced that its troops have killed 15 Boko Haram members in Borno State, northeast of the country. Army spokesman Brigadier General Texas Chukwu in a statement said the insurgents were killed in a clash with troops at Arege, Borno State. Chukwu also noted that some insurgents fled into the bush with gunshot wounds. He said troops also recovered some weapons, including one anti-aircraft gun, 5 AK-47 rifles, and 1 light machine gun from the terrorists. Unfortunately, one soldier was injured and is currently receiving attention at the military medical facility. In a separate statement, Chukwu also said the Nigerian Army has averted a communal clash over a disputed land between Biliri and Shongom local government area of Gombe State, and that's following a timely intervention. The Army spokesman said in the statement that the troops of 301 Artillery Regiment mobilized to the troubled spot as soon as they got the information about the impending crisis. Chukwu, however, said that the troops have arrested 10 suspects who are believed to be the masterminds of the planned attacks. He also said troops recovered some arms and ammunition, including assorted charms. In Lagos State, the State Police Command has paraded 137 cultists arrested in a special crackdown operation. The suspects were paraded in a press briefing presided over by the Commissioner of Police, Imohimi Edgal. Edgal said the suspected cultists include 34 females and 103 males who were captured during a purported initiation ceremony. He noted that the suspect had ignored several warnings not to proceed with the ceremony.
This command had on Thursday, 5th July 2018, warned cultists preparing to observe that sacred day they call 7th day of the 7th month, not to converge in any part of the state. We also encouraged good Nigerians to give information about this group of persons anywhere they are seen. Based on credible intelligence, which was communicated to my office, I ordered the area commanders, the officers in charge of anti-cultism units of the Lagos State Police Command, to move into certain locations where I got credible intel that these cultists were converging and were doing initiation ceremonies under the guise that they were celebrating birthday parties. Now, part of what was recovered from them shows very clearly that while they put in front of the cap HBD, which means happy birthday, at the side of the cap you can see 777.
The Nigerian government has appealed to Nigerians and members of the international community against spreading false stories which could worsen the farmers' headers crisis in Nigeria. Presidential spokesman Garba Shehu made the appeal in a statement late on Sunday. Shehu said the federal government is working closely with state governments and the security services as well as international partners in order to resolve this ongoing issue. He, however, insisted that some aggrieved politicians are to blame for the rise in the killings. Meanwhile, governors of the southeastern states have announced that no state in their region will donate any land for the federal government's proposed establishment of cattle ranches in the zone. While briefing journalists after the meeting, the chairman of the forum, David Umahi, said the governors agreed that ranching will not be allowed in their states. The resolution comes after the National Economic Council, NEC, had announced that 10 states across Nigeria had agreed to provide land for ranching to permanently solve the herders farmers violence. Over 200 people have been killed in clashes between herders and farmers across the country in 2018 alone. To politics now, the British High Commission has called for a peaceful and orderly conduct in the Ekiti governorship election coming up on June 14. British High Commissioner, July 14, I beg your pardon. British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Paul Arkwright, made the appeal when he visited the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Adams Oshiomhole, in his office in Abuja. Arkwright said Ekiti election is a litmus test of what to expect in 2019 and charged stakeholders to play by the rules of the game.
I was encouraged by what he was saying about his determination to ensure free, fair, credible and peaceful elections in Ekiti State. The British High Commission will be sending a team there to observe the elections and to ensure that they go smoothly, to ensure that INEC can do its job, that the security forces do their job, and basically to ensure that the people of Ekiti State are allowed to freely express their own opinion, to vote along with their conscience, and to be able to do so in a peaceful manner. Certainly expecting a smooth election. I'm hoping that there should be no violence, and I do hope that all the agencies concerned, all the independent agencies, and of course the political parties themselves, do their utmost to ensure that this is a free and fair election, and that everybody is entitled to vote along with their conscience.
In his response, APC chairman Adams Oshiomhole promised that his party will exhibit the spirit of sportsmanship in the contest and abide by all electoral rules during and after the election.
As a person, you all know, I started the campaign of one man, one vote to dismantle rigging out of our electoral system, because we are not going to have an accountable government if those in government do not hold their office at the pleasure of the people. Number two, that however, we have concerns that Governor Fayose is on record, and we have the evidence that they are giving queries to teachers and principals who have refused to surrender their PVC card. PVC is the only weapon you need for a free and fair election. Number two, students are being threatened that if they don't attend the rally and so on. And as a part of it is the fact that they have to do a rally under the bridge to create a small crowd. And because in 2014 they used the armed forces to rig the election, they are the ones shouting loudest about rigging. But I have assured him, for me, the process is more important than the outcome.
To ensure a peaceful election in Ekiti State, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has approved the deployment of 30,000 police officials to ensure a hitch-free poll for the Ekiti State gubernatorial election. According to statements by the Force Public Relations Officer, Jimo Moshood, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, DIG, Department of Operations, has also been deployed to the state. They will be supported by an Assistant Inspector General of Police, 4 Commissioners of Police, 8 Deputy Commissioners of Police, and 8 Assistant Commissioners of Police, while each senatorial district of Ekiti will be manned by a CP. The DIG would implement and coordinate the security operations as well as supervise the deployment of security personnel for the elections throughout the 2,451 polling units, 177 wards, and the 16 local government areas of Ekiti. Still on that very big election, Igbomo Ore Ekiti, a body of eminence of Ekiti State, have warned against the deployment of military personnel for the polls. At a media briefing at the body's national secretariat, Prince Adeluyi said electoral affairs of the Nigerian police force said electoral affairs were concerns of the Nigerian police force and other civil security. They recalled the violence which marred the 2014 polls and warned against a repeat of the incident. The body also condemned the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the All Progressives Congress (APC) for alleged desperation to win the poll.
We wish to recall that between 2007 and the year 2010, the gubernatorial election and the rerun that followed upon the court order was characterized by killing, destruction of valuable assets, fear, and trepidation among Ekiti State residents. No one will forget in a hurry the Idosi tragedy, the Oye skirmishes, and the inconsistencies of Madam Ayoka Adebayo the then Ekiti State Electoral Commissioner. Indeed, egregious irregularities marked these elections. We do not want Ekiti State to be a theater of war in the mad and selfish ambition to grab power and governance of Ekiti State at any and at all costs.
Why has Ekiti become an odd number when you talk of our electoral jurisprudence, when you talk of elections? If you look at the ANEC timetable, ANEC says presidential election February, governorship election and House of Assembly election and February, maybe a fortnight thereafter. Governorship, general elections. Why is Ekiti election holding in a day different? That's why I use the word odd. We no longer belong to the even. Then let us go back. It was because of the debacle we had in 2007. And that's why you now see there will not be any need. Let us face this reality. For us to be this much concerned about a governorship election in Ekiti holding.
The opposition party, PDP, has asked the federal government to publish the names of the beneficiaries of the repatriated $322 million, and that's approximately 116 billion naira loot stashed in Swiss banks by Sani Abacha, the late military dictator. The federal government had earlier said the money will be shared among poor households in the country. However, the National Secretary of the PDP, Kola Ologbodiyan, said it has become necessary for the list to be published following allegations that the repatriated fund was being abused. Ologbodiyan accused the ruling APC of trying to bury the matter, adding that the government has not acted since the report was published. He also challenged Buhari to order Malami to reveal the owners of the consulting firm that was reportedly paid billions of naira to distribute the funds. The APC says it will sue the chairman of the reformed All Progressives Congress RAPC, Buba Galadima, and his officials for impersonation, fraudulent misrepresentation, conduct likely to breach public peace, as well as breach of trademark and infringement of copyright. The National Legal Advisor of APC, Babachinde Ogala, who reacted to the purported formation of RAPC, says Galadima's action can be likened to the televised military address issued after a successful execution of a coup d'etat. Ogala added that the Galadima and his party will not be allowed to use the party's brand to form his own political party. He added that the party will be seeking civil redress against the person and his group. Of course, business news comes right up after this. Do stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Now, yeah?
Yes, Oga.
Okay.
Where I go come find 300 naira change?
I better try look for change now. When they do business. Hey, Timmy. I did, bro. I be. I beg, give me 200 naira. Make I take sort out this guy. Let's see no get change.
Take it, give us.
I said 200.
Give her 100 naira.
Yeah.
Okay, I agreed to pay 200.
How much you think they carry people from that place we carry on the chair?
Okay.
No, they touch me.
Now 100 naira. He agreed to pay.
Because that was what you said was the fair. Why you not go pay you? Why you they extort your customer? You see this corruption, what would they hear for news? They see for people everywhere. Now be this so. This is corruption, not in our country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Hello, welcome to News in Business. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Minister of State for Aviation Hadi Sirika has reiterated that a proposed national airline for Nigeria would be unveiled before the end of this year. Sirika gave the assurance while receiving the outlined business case certificate of compliance for the establishment of the airline from Chidi Izua, Director General Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC. The minister said the presentation of the certificate was a testament on how far the project had gone. The proposed airline will go up $8.8 million preliminary cost and $300 million as takeoff cost. Oil prices rose on Monday as investors focused on tight market conditions after data last week showed U.S. crude inventories fell to their lowest in more than 3 years. Brent crude climbed 49 cents to trade at $77.60 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures added 34 cents to trade at $74.14 a barrel. Investors are also focusing on how much export from Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states will rise. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and other countries agreed earlier this month to a modest increase in output to dampen a rally in oil prices, which recently hit a 3.5-year high. It was a bullish run at the Nigeria Stock Exchange today as the market closed on a positive note with a 0.06% rise in the all-share index to close at 37,647 basis points, with the market capitalization closing at 13.637 trillion naira. The bullish market was dominated by Dangote Cement, Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC, Forte Oil and Cement Company of Northern Nigeria. On the other hand, Nascon, Lafarge Africa, Stanbic IBTC and Dangote Sugar were the top losers for the day. Meanwhile, Access Bank, Zenith Bank, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings and Transcorp Hilton led the top traders chart with over 714.645 million naira worth of shares traded for the day. In summary, the day's trading closed with 155.172 million shares transacted in 3,422 deals. Well, that's the news and business. Do stay tuned for more stories.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so...
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no. You don't need to do this. We are only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Ethiopia and Eritrea have declared end of war. This declaration came after landmark talks between the leaders of both countries. This will form part of a historic agreement that will see the opening of embassies, development of ports, and resumption of flights. This is a peace deal ending in 1998 to 2000 border conflict that has never been fully implemented, and since then there has been tension between the neighbors. The summit between Eritrea's President Isaias Afwerki and Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed marked the first time the heads of states had met for nearly 2 decades. In Asia, the death toll has risen to 116 after record rainfall caused flooding and landslides in the western part of Japan. More than 50 others are believed to be missing, the Japan Times reported. Since Thursday, parts of western Japan have received 3 times the usual rainfall for the whole of July. 2 million people have been ordered to evacuate as rivers bust their banks, and rescuers restarted their search through the mud for any survivors or the bodies of those killed on Monday morning. An official told the AFP news agency that water levels were gradually receding and that emergency team may be able to access the water-hit areas on foot. In sports, Super Eagles World Cup defender Kenneth Emoro has dismissed rumours he will quit Chelsea to join Belgian club KA Ghent. Omero, who is yet to make a Premier League debut with Chelsea in his 6 years on the book of the London club, has expressed his desire to settle his future on a more permanent basis following several loan spells. His impressive performances in Russia only helped to increase interest from several clubs in Europe. Former Barcelona coach Luis Enrique has been appointed as Spain's new coach on Monday after previous incumbent Julian Lopetegui was sacked on the eve of the World Cup. The president of the Spanish Football Federation said Enrique's appointment as coach for the next 2 years was approved unanimously. The 48-year-old will replace him who was fired, Lopetegui, I beg your pardon, who was fired by Rubiales when the coach announced he had signed to take over at Real Madrid. Roger Federer advanced to reward a record extending 16th at Wimbledon quarterfinal with a 6-0, 7-5, 6-4 victory over Adrian Manarino of France. The 8-time champion earned his latest win with maximum efficiency on centre court, particularly during a 16-minute first set in which the top-seeded Federer lost just 5 points. The 22nd-seeded Manarino became the first man to earn a break point against Federer in this tournament, but he was unable to take any of his 4 opportunities. Federer has now won 32 consecutive sets at Wimbledon to move within 1 straight set victory of breaking his previous longest streak at the All-England Club when he won 34 in a row between the 3rd round in 2005 and the final in 2006. And that's it on News Now. You can watch some of our other programs on our website at www.tv360nigeria.com. I am Anetta Felix. Thanks for watching.